Blyth test route, 10th of September, 9:17 in the morning. Subscribe, you know you want to, it's free. Original recording, original audio not recorded for data protection. Hello everybody, how you all doing? My name's Ryan and I'm a driving instructor, and this is a live driving test. I was sat in the back of this one, so yeah, it's not a particularly long test, 31 minutes. Again, getting quite short tests again. Partially on examiner instruction and then to sat-nav about halfway around. About 20 minutes on sat-nav actually. On the corners here, I'm just told follow the road around to the right, and then sometimes you turn left here, but we're following the road ahead. You're always following the road ahead unless you've been instructed otherwise. Now this driving test wasn't a pass, and it's really obvious why as you're driving around. Whether the environment or the nerves got the better of the person, I don't know. I have no idea. I don't think that this was a particularly tedious or difficult route. That's the only way I can say it. It's not like it's hard work, this route. Before this video was taken, it was quite sort of stormy and it was raining and a bit bleak, and as we went on it got better. Yeah, and it was quite sunny. I'd have been tempted to use the visor. It's been familiar with the car, isn't it? Familiar with all the controls in the car, which I did go into quite a few times. And I've gone into other videos as well. Going to turn right at this crossroads just up here. Remember the dodgy junction where you've got the crossing straight after it. So we come round to the right eventually. There's a bit of hesitation there, probably a little bit early nerves. And then you've got that crossing just there. Just be careful. And then a ton of give way to, priority over, meet and greet situations with cars coming towards you. It does say slow, it does say school. Doesn't mean you have to bomb it along at 30. It means check your environment, see what's happening, drive to the conditions of the road, the traffic, the weather. Have a look round, make sure you're doing all of the right things. I'll let you watch this a little bit, but tell me what you think about this bit, because I know what I thought about it. So do you think about it? She got overtaken there, didn't she? I know we're stopping on the left and we're going to move off in a moment, but it felt a bit sort of slow. I don't know what it was. Just something when I was in the car just didn't feel right at that time. Now, funny enough, she didn't get marked for it, any of it, but it felt like it wasn't. Oh, just dropping my stuff. It felt like it wasn't fluid. Fluid meaning that, was it nice and smooth? Was it in control? Yeah, it was, but also it could be a bit more fluid. It could be a bit more kind of take control of the situation. You driving that car, it's like she was waiting for an input off something, and eventually she just went for it. Dodgy situation here. Car coming towards us. There's a car on the right hand side that's trying to turn to the right as well, and we're getting quite a few people taking advantage of us as they came forward in a moment, and actually one of them stops. There we go. See that one that stopped and flashed? Now here's a problem. What does the flash mean? Does it mean that we go forward, or is it letting the car out on the right hand side? Well, because of that reason, then this person who was doing the driving test took the correct action to ignore the flashy lights, because we don't know what it meant. And again, just having a little look down the road. Now that person then again sort of letting him out. Should we go? A little bit of hesitation. That's possibly because of the last car that's flashed us. There wasn't a lot of space along this road. Never is on this part of Plessey Road. And it's just taking advantage of the situation sometimes. And looking at it and going, yeah, you know what, I probably should have gone, or I probably should have stayed, and little things like that. But when you're on a driving test, it can get the better of you, and the nerves can take over. It ended up being quite a windy day. It's been windy all day, actually. Oh, just dropped my pen. Put it in there. Following the road ahead at the roundabout. Been quite a windy day, and it was a little bit windy there, and just drive to what you can see. Stops and starts along here a few times. Actually, the stop and start wasn't a problem. There was a couple of minors on, like, safety move off, and that means that the examiner hadn't seen the candidate turn her head enough before putting on the signal to the right. So when you're moving off from the side of the road, and everybody goes on about every bit of glass in the car, or a 6-point check, or whatever else it is, if you've already put the signal on, then do your check, it kind of makes the check irrelevant, because what happens if you're looking over at the left-hand side, doing your blind spot on the left, and you've already got a right-hand signal on, and somebody stops to let you out and flashing your way at you. So that's the reason she got the safeties. It was quite obvious that she wasn't checking enough. The person wasn't necessarily checking to see what was happening on all around it before putting the signal on, and that's the reason. It stops again just here. On that stop as well, they're kind of saying, ignore the driveways. The reason being is she wanted a little bit of an angled start, or when we stopped on the left, there's like stop and start 5 or 6 times, we know this. She wanted a little bit more steering in the going around the car thing. It happens a lot. The examiner can ask for all sorts of different things, and one of them is this angled start, and just checking to see if she's checking enough. The candidate was checking enough to make sure that she's doing all the right things in the right order. Look, there's a sticker stuck to my seat. Fair enough. Must have been off my laptop. Well, we're just following the road. It's been quite simple, this bit. You're just following a road and give way to priority over, drive to what you can see, 30 miles an hour. Coming all the way up to the junction, well up to the roundabout, past the petrol station. As you come up to this roundabout, remember that they've changed the priority. Now, somebody in another video asked me, what priority have they changed? Well, basically, when you enter this roundabout from the opposite side, you don't give way anymore. You just roll off the level crossing straight through, literally straight through. Now, you can see this as you approach on this side. You're still giving way to the right, remembering that they've done the roadworks on the right hand side now. The gasworks has been finished, so there is stuff coming from our right hand side just a little bit further up. So you're going to get stuff coming from the right hand side just on your right here, and as you go into this roundabout, you can see that it says give way on the right hand side now. That's so that any traffic that's coming towards us doesn't have to stop. That means that if the crossing became active, for example, you're not sort of stranded in the middle of nowhere. So that the traffic coming along that road has got priority to disappear off to either junction, so they don't end up blocking the road. It's quite important, that, I think. I think to understand that on that roundabout, that you don't give way to the right coming in the opposite direction. You'll see, if you go and have a look at it, you'll see it straight away and you'll go, I get it now. It's become more of a junction than a roundabout now. Just following the road all the way down, double roundabouts, double mini roundabouts. They've repainted these recently, keep to your shape. They've also added speed bumps, since this is no longer kind of a priority route anymore, since they're going to effectively eliminate the big roundabout at the end, and I'll show you where they're going to do it. Somebody's got a noisy car. So there's a couple of speed bumps coming up, and you can see that roundabout. They've repainted it and they've raised it to slow the traffic down. If you go right over the middle of that, you just bounce. Same with this speed bump here. All these little speed bumps they've added, I kind of get it, kind of understand it. It's to slow the traffic. More speed bumps. Now you can't turn left back towards the town anymore if you haven't been here for a while at the roundabout. So you've got to turn right. And we're on sat-nav at the minute, just following the road. And as you come up to this bit, don't go on the right there. You go on the right now. And obviously it's got loads of signs up, got the cones up, and you're turning right. Now this is where they're going to eliminate this big roundabout. So this big roundabout there, they're getting rid of it soon. So all it'll be is like a big sweeping sort of a corner with a big filter in it. And then we go on to the new roundabout. And we turn right at this roundabout, second exit. So you give way at the right. They've got loads of cones up. It's interesting, when they take these cones away and the road markings, there'll be a lot of lane confusion, I'm guessing. With people not really knowing which lane to be in. Maybe they're going to put arrows on the road, I don't know. That'd be quite interesting. I know they've done it on the other one, but the arrows don't make a lot of sense. Anyway, still doing 30, do not exceed 30, do not pass go, do not collect £200. You are still in the 30 zone, irrelevant of what the sat-nav says. The reason being is that the speed doesn't change until you get to the 50 signs, end of roadwork signs, a little bit further along. Do not go faster than 30, otherwise you will fail your driving test. There you go. It's blowing a gale here. Absolutely blowing. Coming up to this roundabout, everybody used to go, this is the new roundabout. It's been here a while now, so it's no longer new, but it's certainly, 5-6 years old, so this used to be a continuous road round to the left, but since they built the houses, put the roundabout in, more houses going in at some point, but nobody knows when. Probably when they finalise the plans for the dual carriageway, so they know where they're all going. So they know what roads to build, because there's no infrastructure plan. And you can't build houses without infrastructure. Yes. So following the road, a bit slow on this section when in real life. And then you spot the 50 on the lamppost on the right hand side and then increase your speed. It's 50 all the way through from the roadwork sign, but why not just go for it? So all the way up to the Laverick. Entertain yourself for a minute. I'm going to open this lovely can of double shot. Looked on it, it's got nothing heavy in it. A little bit of carb. I digress. Coming into the roundabout. 2 lanes in, 2 lanes on the roundabout. Stick to your shape. There we go, nicely stuck to the shape. Mirror signal left, leave the roundabout on the left hand side, a little creep across a little bit. Got a minor, I think, there. And then sat-nav, because you're on sat-nav, screaming, in 800 yards, turn right on the roundabout. In 300 yards, turn right on the sat-nav screen a minute. Sat-nav is telling you a direct instruction to go and do it. So we're turning right on the roundabout. Can you spot the mistake. This is the first fail. I'll put the rear view camera on. About now. There we go. So can we spot the fail? Did you spot the fail? Yes, she's turning right from the left-hand lane. So she's in the left-hand side, gone in the right-hand side and cut across a lane. Now, whilst there was nobody there, it is a serious error on a driving test and therefore a fail. Correctly is a fail. And also she's quite late off coming back to left. Now, because the car was behind us, sometimes they stop you on the left just up here. And, well, they didn't this time because it was unnecessary because of the car that was behind us, and also there's a lot of pressure on that because I think that secretly I think you've already thought you failed, so stopping at that point would just kind of disrupt your test. Then we follow this twisty road, the B1505, which was the old 189 if you're interested. I'm sure I could link a video to that somewhere. Just following the road. Now, was the funny thing on the way into the next roundabout, and I will show you it. You've probably done this roundabout, like when you've been on your lessons and that, you've probably been on this roundabout like a gazillion times because driving instructors like to show people it. Sat nav here says in 300 yards turn right, second exit. Whilst it says second exit, technically it isn't wrong because the junction on the left hand side is no entry, so therefore it doesn't count as an exit. The one I've headed yet is the first and that one the second. So turning right, second exit. Unusual because you think, oh yeah, it's got an exit on the left hand side, but it hasn't because there's no entry. Following the 1505 all the way up, we turn right at the top of the hill because you know what's going to happen. You're either going to turn left or right. If you turn right, you pretty much know that you're going on the spine road. If you turn left, then you know you're not going on the spine road. Now, if you accidentally go the wrong way on your driving test, you should follow the road until the examiner gives you new instructions or new directions. I'm not saying to make a mistake, I'm saying you should follow the instructions. But if you're going to go wrong, go wrong. So where she was in the left-hand side there, just go wrong, go left or go straight on. There's no, the examiner then has to just redirect you, probably take you to the next roundabout, round the roundabout and back it on yourself. That's all we're going to do. So, as we turned right, we're going to turn left on 3 horseshoes, which is a pretty easy one actually, because you're looking across to the right about now. Now, we had a car, I think, on the right hand side. I can't remember. And she couldn't really see what was happening. So it was difficult to see. There we go. And it happened somewhere else as well. And I thought I was a little bit hesitant, but maybe she could have peeped and creeped, but never mind. We can't argue with it sometimes. So, join the 189. Again, SatNav says something stupid here. In 1.2 miles, leave the highway. Well, you haven't even joined it. So, it does get a little bit confusing for people who are following SatNavs. You're like, how can I leave if I've already just about to join? It's already mirrored and signalled. Checking on your right hand side. Little check to the side. Make sure it's nice and safe. Coming across the white line. Cancel signal. Sit in this lane. Build up your speed. 50, 60 miles an hour. Don't want to dawdle. All the way up to your junction. Leave the highway at the next junction. See the half-mile marker there. And we're coming up to it. Effectively, another fail. And again, I will let you think about this one. Not forgetting that I made a video on this roundabout for one specific reason. To let people know how to deal with the roundabout. I'll put a link in for this one, I think. I'll put a link in on the top of the video for you. So you're looking for the countdown markers at number 3. Check around at number 2, or between 1 and 2. Mirror and signal to the left. Number one, trying to sight the exit, identifying where your exit is. Put rear camera on again so you can see what's happening and why this also is a fail. So we are turning right. Again, sat-nav telling you turn right. Turning right on the roundabout. Third exit. Now, there's nothing wrong with being in this left-hand lane because it says 193 east and west. So it says you can be in this lane. Nothing wrong with that. You know what's going to happen, don't you? Yeah. Straight across. Wrong lane. So if you're in the left-hand side, stay in the bloody left-hand side. If you're in the right-hand side, stay in the right-hand side. But then this happens. Rather than staying in the right-hand side, drops across. Well, yeah, it's safe enough to do that. There's nothing wrong with doing that. But when you're joining the roundabout, stay in lane. Just stay in your lane. There's no point in swapping lanes. Whether it's your nerves or I don't know really. No idea. Answers on a postcard. I'm sure it's probably just a nerves thing. We're just following the road all the way back, all the way down Cowpen Road. I normally give time index, don't I? We've only got 10 minutes of this test left, but to be fair, she's already failed. She actually failed halfway through just for misidentifying. Remember, if you're going to go wrong, go wrong. Go stay in the left-hand side and go left, or go straight on. If you're in the right-hand side, you've got to turn right. It says it in the book. I on about this just a little bit earlier on. Can I find the book? No. It's somewhere on my back seat. I'm recording this in the car if you're interested. No, I can't find the book. It was here a minute ago. As we go down Cowpen Road. I don't know where I put that. Anyway, in the book it says really specifically the procedures for roundabouts, which the examiners follow because they're examiners. Correct or right or wrong, you know what I mean? It's because it's there in the book that you have to or should follow it. Just following in Cowpen Road all the way along, all the way to the end. Well, I say that, we're going to go left in the retail park. Now, if you're going to turn left in the retail park, you're only going to get one thing. Of course, we haven't done our manoeuvre, have we? Oh, no, right, we haven't. And the manoeuvre's either going to be driving to a bay or reversing to a bay. If you're getting told do one or the other, for example, when you go into the car park, do this, do that, do the other, then literally they're asking you just to drive into a bay or reverse into a bay. It's quite specific. It's specific enough for you to understand what you're going to do, driving or reversing into a bay, because you've done it before, probably hundreds of times on your driving lessons. So we come past the bus stop. And we go around to the left. Into the retail park. And of course, because I was sat in the back, the examiner told her to turn left at the second turning. I'll put the rear camera on again just so you can see what's happening, and drive into a bay. Now, because there's a ton of bays here, just drive into a bay. What you do? Drive straight through the middle of them. So the examiner actually interacted here. Now, the examiner didn't fail her for that, because there was nobody she caused to slow down, swerve or stop. But she did say, the examiner did say, or did tell her, I should just say them, shouldn't I? To drive around and drive into a bay. Now, when she stopped, she opened the door, and I didn't like that. What I like instead is, if you're going to open the door, then probably put your handbrake on, just in case your foot slips off the foot brake. And then, of course, let's reverse out the bay to the left or to the right, and we're going to leave the car park and the retail unit. And I knock some of my stuff. No cats today. I'm recording this in a car park at Great Park because I've just been on a lesson, and I thought I'd do this because I'm out late tonight. I'm trying to do a dark lesson with somebody, but it only gets dark about 7:30. And all the way at the top. So yeah, I'm recording this in the car park because I've got like an hour. But I'll compile all this. You probably won't see this until quite late on tonight. By the time I've edited that and all. Now, there is a car on the right hand side blocking our view, but I can't see any problem. It's difficult to see on the camera. Just creeping just a little bit further forward at this point to see if it's safe on the right hand side, because it felt like quite a lot of hesitation to me, and I think I'd be a bit more proactive in trying to get out there. Maybe it didn't seem as long on the film, but on the video, but can you say footage? Because it's not a film anymore. Film? Movie? Video? I don't know. Video was something you recorded onto tapes that you were stuck in a big machine that looked like a big old Xbox. I wonder what we do call it then. Tubes? Ticks? I don't know. Things that you can watch moving pictures on. Movies? The movies? No, I don't know. I digress a little bit. Video this week, if you're interested in, is about pass rates and how they vary, and the examiner and why they sometimes pass people and sometimes they fail people. There isn't a concise answer, no stats on it, no answers on it. It's just a thought that if they pass more people, surely the waiting time would come down. But then if you do something like what's happened on this test, where somebody's turned right from the left-hand lane, they pretty much haven't got an excuse to fail them. They'll just fail you because correctly you've done the wrong thing. All the way back down into the town, using that car as a little bit of a blocker, which is absolutely fine. Bringing it round all the way down Cowpen Road, all the way back towards the test centre. All the way down past Halford and everything else. Back around. I think she still made a stop somewhere. I think the examiner made a stop somewhere along here. Oh, there we go. It's a good place to stop, actually. You wouldn't stop and explain something to a pupil, like a fault, but for a purpose of driving tests or for practice tests and mock tests, it's a good place to stop that there. It's decent. It allows you a good view of the road. It's quite open. You're not parked in a driveway. It's a pretty good place, that one. Oh, the wind's getting wild. Going around the corner, following it all the way back towards the test centre. Oh, literally, it says town centre on all the signs. So all the way back down, all the way to the traffic lights just ahead of us. Got quite a few tests coming up. Got another one Blyth Thursday. Got two on, I think, is it Wednesday? Tuesday, Wednesday? Definitely got two on Friday. Both in Blyth as well, one after another. Fantastic. What a video edit that will be. Nice green arrow, going around the corner. Not much more to add. Speed, position, mirror signal, position, speed. I can't add anything more in context with this other than explain those faults and explain about driving into a bay in that car park. I suppose the voiceover on this one's just purely just to say how I felt about things. But feelings can differ, and if you feel that you need to say something, you should say it, you know. There's nothing wrong with saying something on a video where it's important to express your point of view or ask a question of why you do something a certain way. Because if you don't ask, you'll never know. And if you never know, you'll never find out. And therefore, it might be quite an important question to you. Every question's important. Every obvious, not obvious. So, it's obvious to me, but is it obvious to the whole of the audience? Is it obvious why you need to do it? Not really, because everybody's brain thinks a different way. So asking a question, can I ask a stupid question? Well, it's not stupid because you're asking it. Every question is valid because you don't know the answer and you want to find out, so you ask it. So put a comment in. Coming back around the corner, when we came around this corner, examiner said choose any of the lines, I think, or something like that. I don't know, I didn't record the audio. Can't record the audio for data protection reasons. Choose one of the entrances in the car park. Pick one, stick to it, drive down it, pick a bay, drive into a bay. Now, I knew there's a bay at the end, but it's a bit tight, this bay, for the positioning. She got quite far at the right, the candidate. Yeah, there we go. Anyway, if you like what you saw, like, comment, subscribe. Subscribing is free. And I'll see you in the next one. Video out on Friday, test route Thursday. Bye for now.